Another blunder that you can make before borrowing is failure to analyze the impact of the proposed borrowing. Now, this is a blunder that very many people make. Very many people, just because a lender has said you can qualify for amount X, will actually go ahead and borrow amount X. But I have also argued that just because a lender has told you you qualify for amount X, it does not necessarily mean that you actually qualify for that amount. According to the lender, because the lender will analyze the documents presented to them. If you are employed, the lender is looking at your pay slip, the lender is looking at your bank statement, and the lender using those documents will tell you that according to your pay slip, you can qualify for amount X. But the truth is known by you that probably the pay slip shows that you have some room for borrowing, but you know that there are some other deductions happening outside the pay slip. The payslip might actually be saying that you have a net of 20,000 shillings when you actually have other debts that are deducting 19,000. That means your true net is 1,000 shillings. Yet, just because a lender has told you that based on the payslip you qualify for this amount, you are quick to borrow the amount, to apply for the amount. You will burn your fingers. You will burn your fingers. So what am I talking about here? There is this blunder where we fail to ask ourselves, how will I survive when deductions are loaded? In other words, the amount that the lender wants to deduct at the end of the month, what was it doing in my budget? Once they deduct it, how am I going to survive? And that is the first test of true affordability. That once you have borrowed and deductions have started, you should not find yourself in deep trouble, pushing you into further borrowing elsewhere because you forgot about something that was very important. Very many people, after they borrowed and deductions have been loaded, that is the time they discover that the money they committed to the loan was actually money for rent, was actually money for school fees or part of the money thereof. And that is when trouble begins. Because the thing they forgot is an important thing. The landlord is looking at them, or the schools have opened, and therefore they must go and borrow from another place for them to be able to do that which the repayment amount was doing in their budget. So you must ask yourself that question. In other words, as you ask yourself this question, you might realize that you are not ready to borrow today. You might tell yourself that you need to wait probably until you have a pay rise. You might need to adjust a few things in your budget so that you can free that money to be committed for debt.